What is going on, guys? Back dropping another video, doing another tier list, this time based on RWA altcoins. You enjoyed the AI tier list that I did, so I'm going to try and keep it a similar length to that. There's around 40 different projects here, guys. Of course, I can't do all the RWA projects because there's just too many and it's going to take way too long. So I want to try and get through these projects as quick as possible. Again, guys, please remember this is my own opinion. Please don't get triggered that I put your project as a 5x when you think it can 10x. Because at the end of the day, guys, everything will probably pump. Even these coins which look dead are probably going to pump. So, don't take it too seriously. It's just a bit of fun. And yeah, it's my own opinion. So anyway, let's get into the list. So first on the list, we have Ondo. Now, this project is one of the biggest RWA altcoins in terms of market cap. And the key thing here, guys, is their ties to BlackRock in terms of tokenizing real world assets. They offer fixed yield loans as well, which in my opinion is going to be very big because they've got BlackRock on board. Now, in terms of where this can go, currently sat around 1 billion in market cap. I'm going to put this as a 10x, but with the ties and partners they have, this could easily go above this, but for me, I'm going to put it as a 10x. Next on the list, we have Pendle. Now, again, there's a lot of projects which will be in this space which are based on, yield protocols, lending and borrowing. For me, guys, those concepts are just not exciting. In terms of Pendle, this project is a project which is, the price action has been pretty bullish in terms of, a sort of a yield protocol. But for me, I just think there's better options in here. Currently sat around 600 million. If you're going to invest in, you may as well just invest in Ondo. If you're looking for one of the high caps within RWA, it'll probably pump, but I'm going to put it as a 5x. There's a lot of competition within, this narrative for yield. It's just not exciting. Next on the list, we have Polymesh. Now, this project is based on, basically offering a variety of different tools for and financial instruments to help onboard RWA and regulate different RWA assets. They do have quite a lot of nodes based on Polymesh. But for me, guys, again, this is a project which is just not very exciting. Price action on this is, not the best. It moves like a stable coin. And there's better options within this space. Currently sat around 2 or 300 million in market cap. So for me, again, this could probably 10x, but I'm going to put it as a 5x, 5 to 10x. I'm going to put it as a 5x. Next on the list, we have XDC. Now, this, even though this is an old project, they are very, very bullish in terms of how they look to onboard different enterprises. Hybrid blockchain, which aims to improve global trade and finance. I just like what this project is doing, and they have a pretty solid team with a lot of experience. The downside with this is, as I've said, it's an old project. Currently sat around 400 million in market cap. For me, I think this can 10x, but price action is not the best, but they have solid fundamentals in my opinion. Next on the list, we have Mantra. Now, this has been absolutely exploding over the past sort of few weeks. Price action is very bullish. It's very close to breaking its all-time highs. It is basically the first security-based RWA layer 1 blockchain. A very, very big team behind this, very good partners behind this as well. And, they're solving a lot of issues within the RWA space. For me, even though this has pumped a lot, I think at 1 billion market cap, this could easily 10x. I think Ondo and Mantra are very good options if you're looking for, those safe RWA picks. Next on the list, we have Chromia. Now, this isn't just within RWA. They're in a variety of different niches, such as AI. They are getting into RWA as well, but it's not like a solely based RWA project. The team is very big here. They've got a lot of experience behind them. But for me, I think there's better options within this space. In terms of real world assets, what they do is they're aiming to basically help onboard financial services and investors to try and raise different capital for a variety of different asset protocols. But again, for me, not that exciting. It's better to focus on one narrative. They are focusing on a variety of different narratives: gaming, NFTs, layer one. Um, its price action is not the best on this either. But 100 million in market cap, 100, about 150 million in market cap. But it is an older project. But to be honest, guys, it probably will 10x, 5 to 10x. I'll put it as a 10x, but there's better options. Next on the list, we have Goldfinch. Now, this is pushed by a variety of different influencers. It's an old project with, it's down like 95%. I would put this into a void. There's better options within this space. Next on the list, moving towards the low cap category, one of the most bullish projects in the RWA space, PropBase, a fresh project, a new project. In regards to sort of their PropBase nexus, I really like what they're doing, onboarding Marriott, Wyndham, big name hotel brands, and you can invest with small amount of money as well. Solid token utility, very good team, very, very big community. Currently sat at around 40 million in market cap. For me, guys, this is a 20 to 30x. So it's going to be the first project to go into that category. Next on the list, we have Centrifuge, another old project, one of those yield generating projects. It just doesn't really get me excited personally. They offer, different tech for financial products. But it's just boring, man. For me, it's just not exciting. And I think this whole lending, borrowing concept there's so many projects that offer that. For me, I'm gonna put this as a void, but it probably will. It'll probably pump at some stage. It's sat around 200 million in market cap. I'll put it as 5x, but you may as well invest into Mantra, Ondo. In my opinion. Next on the list, we have Car. I don't even know how he's pronounced this, but basically the ticker is Car. It is based on providing solutions for within the automotive industry, buying and selling vehicles. A lot of inefficiencies within this automotive space, but this project, the price action is just it's pumped over the past month, but it is down 99.5%, guys. This is an old project, which is just in terms of if an influencer puts a trade out on this, it'll probably pump. But in terms of long-term long-term holding, I just do not think it's worth it. It's a shame because it does have a very good concept, but it's just not going to go anywhere in my opinion. Next on the list, we have LCX. An exchange. This was popular a while ago. A lot of people were talking about this. Sort of hype has died out on this project. Currently sat around 100 million in market cap. For me, I'm going to put this as a 5 to 10x, but again, there's just better projects within this space. I'll put it as a 10x because it probably will pump because it's come down quite a bit in terms of market cap. But it's better to go into some of these fresher projects which don't have old bag holders which are waiting to basically exit. There's much better options in my opinion. Next on the list, we have a Solana-based RWA project. So that in itself is a USP for this project. In terms of, price action, pretty bullish price action. It's up around 90% over the past month. Downside with this, guys, is the vesting schedule. And in terms of the fully diluted valuation, it's around 15% circulating. And, I just think, even though I do like this project, I like what they're doing, in terms of, the speculation and, sort of having sort of indicators within the real estate markets. I just think with the token dilution, it's going to sort of harm some of the gains that can be made. But even with the sort of token dilution, I still think this could, potentially 20x. Um, I'm going to put it as a 10x just to be a bit more conservative. You've got to take into consideration, tokenomics as well. But it is a good project, and I think with being on Solana as well, not many of these projects are built on Solana, so that is a bullish case for it as well. Next on the list, we have Maple Finance, another lending and borrowing protocol. There's just a lot of these lending based projects, guys. Stable coin based lending, altcoin based lending, credit. It's just not exciting, and there's so much choice for investors when they want to gain access to one of these projects. Price action on this is not too bad, around 120 million in market cap. Tokenomics are decent, around 75% in circulation. But as I've said before, there's better options. But because it's around 100 million in market cap, it'll probably still 10x, but you can get better gains elsewhere. Next on the list, Relio probably has the biggest community out of all these projects within the RWA space. Low cap as well. Very bullish price action on this as well. For me, this is going straight into the 20 to 30x category. I would say it's on par with prop base. These are two of the best projects within this space in terms of risk to reward. Very good project. Next on the list, we have TrueFi. Now, this project is another project which is old. It's early 2021, I believe. And it's down pretty heavily as well. And again, guys, another lending protocol. It's just there's just nothing to really get investors excited about or get retail excited about. Even though they've got good backers, and the talk utility is good. It's just not worth it in my opinion, guys. If you're gonna look at a project which is sat at 100 million in market cap, you can easily get on Relio and prop base, which are lower than something like this. But again, it'll probably 5 to 10x. I'll put it as a 10x, but there's better options out there, guys. Next on the list, we have Dusk. Basically, their main sort of USP is behind privacy, aim to enhance privacy behind RWA investments. They want to help people invest into RWA tokens through their wallet and also keep it private and ensure that it's regulated. But for me, guys, again, this project is another old project. They did rebrand as well. Sat around 90 million in market cap. Price action is not the best either. And yeah, again, just another project which I think there's not much hype about. You have to take hype into consideration, and no one's really talking about this project. So for me, I'm going to put it as a 5x. There's much better options out there. Next on the list, we have Landshare. This is a microcap sort of project which helps you to invest in real estate. They offer a variety of different properties within the US. There's not many properties on the website currently. I think they've only got about 3 or 4 different properties. But for me, I do like how they market, and if they can get an additional few properties, they've also got that separate LSRWA token in addition to the land token, and there's a big incentive to gain yield through rent, similar to prop base, but prop base obviously have the better sort of listings. But because of the market cap currently sat around 4 million in market cap, for me, I think this can 50x. I'll put it as a 50x, but it is more risky. It is very risky in my opinion. So, just pay attention to that. Next on the list, we have Seapool, a project which again is down heavily, 96% down. Another old project, which is I just don't know why you would invest in something like this, guys. It's another one of these credit-based, lending protocols, liquidity providing. It's just not exciting. I would avoid it. 96% down. Why would you hold it? Next on the list is TokenFi, this project was featured in my AI list as well. They are mainly based on RWA. And the main thing with this that I like is the team behind Flocky, which is like a meme gaming coin, which is massive, which done very well. It's the same team as some of the team behind this. And they also have quite a solid strategy, aiming to basically help give users what they need to create their own RWA assets, helps them with the coding, helps them in all those sorts of things with their TokenFi launcher. I do really like what they're doing. The only downside with this is the, sort of vesting schedule, around 15% in circulation. But I think with the team, they know how to market, and that is very important. So even with the sort of, vesting schedule, currently sat around 80 million and around 500 million fully diluted, I still think this can 10 to 20x. I'm going to put it as a 10x because of the dilution. Next on the list, we have Proppy. Now, this is a project which I think, even though it's an old project, it still has a very good use case. I like the listings that they have, some very nice listings on their website. It's also good for agents, for buyers, for sellers. And they're also implementing AI into their sort of system as well. And some of the listings on this are insane. They've got mansions varying from like 10 to like $50 million. The only downside, of course, is the fact that it is like 6 years old. So it's a very old project. But I still think it has potential. Around 60 million in market cap. For me, I'm going to put it as a 10x. I think it's a good project and very good listings. Next on the list, we have Sologenic. This project is absolutely dead, in my opinion, 99% down. And again, they've had a rebranding. And for me, it is just not worth it, guys. Avoid. Another avoid, NXRA. Alliance Block, they had the hack. And to be honest, guys, once, an RWA project has been hacked, in my opinion, it loses all sort of trust and credibility. For me, avoid. It's important to note, guys, when you talk about RWA, these are projects which need regulation. They need, security behind them. They need to be audited. If they're getting hacked, I think they just lose all trust, in my opinion. It's just not worth it. So I would put that in the avoid list. Next on the list, we have Strike X. Now, this project, they offer a variety of different Web3 tools for the financial markets, helping you to, trade the markets, including RWA markets as well. And they're also UK based, I believe. They help to basically offer trading in stocks, RWA, NFTs. And, for me, I think this is a good project. It's a project which is down heavily, but they're developing pretty well. And they have the downside with this is the exchange listings. They're only currently listed on MEXC, but if they can gain some additional exchange listings and continue developments, I do think this has potential. I think it can probably give you a 10x. I'm going to put it as a 10x. Next on the list, we have Polytrade. I really like this project. I think in terms of risk to reward, this is one of the better projects out there. What they're aiming to do is basically offer their marketplace where you can buy, trade different RWAs on around 10 different chains. So it's probably the biggest RWA marketplace that is around. They also have a partnership with MasterCard and very good partnerships. And, for me, this project has a lot of potential. I also like the team behind this as well. So for me, I would put this as a 20x. Next on the list, we have Chainlink. Now, Oracle, one of the biggest projects in the crypto space, helping to onboard RWA. But for me, it's going to give you a 5x, maybe a 10x, but it's currently sat around 7 billion. So for me, I'm going to put it as a 5x. You know, it's a very good, safe coin. If you want a coin which is safe, which is, you know, not going to rug, it's a good option. Next on the list, we have Prop Chain. Very bullish on this one. You know, I like the fact that the team here have a huge amount of experience, a very highly credible team. They also have some big partnerships behind them and also some big financial backing. And what they're trying to do is create an ecosystem where they can basically get partners and basically onboard different, you know, RWA, you know, partners, infrastructure, security. I really like what they're doing. The team is solid, and you know they're doing a lot in terms of, you know, marketing. And again, the community is very, very bullish. You know, that is very important, guys. You have to note that in terms of marketing is just as important as the project, as the product. If people aren't marketing, then you know no one's really going to see the potential of the project. And for me, their CEO, Robin, has a huge amount of expertise. For me, this is another 20 to 30x project. I think it is one of the best projects to invest in terms of RWA, of course, not financial advice. Next on the list, we have Swarm Markets. This project is a project which is another old project. You know, basically, they are like a DeFi platform. They offer different hedge funds. You can invest in stocks, different commodities. Good concept behind it. And I think it does have potential. I'm going to put it as a 10x. Could probably do more because it is like a low cap, around 20 million, maybe 20x. I'm going to put it as 10 to 20x. I'll put it on the lower end of the 20x category. Next on the list, we have another low cap, Bricken, which has shown a very bullish price action over the past few weeks. What I like with this is the fact that they are looking to basically, you know, onboard and create different digital assets. They also have a good amount of, you know, trust behind them. They've got some like certificates, and I believe they have some, you know, like awards from some Spanish based like association. They're also funded by the European Union as well, and they've won numerous awards. The team is also very good. And you know what I like about this is they also provide a marketplace where you can basically collaborate with different, you know, people within the RWA industry. And for me, I think this has huge potential. And again, they have a very bullish community, very active community, which is also very important. For me, I'll put this as a 20 to 30x. Very good project. Next on the list, we have Credify, which is a project which is another one of those lending and borrowing protocols. You know, peer-to-peer lending. It's just not exciting. And on top of that, this is another old project which is down 95%. I would avoid this. But again, guys, it'll probably 5x. But it's not worth it. I mean, if you want a 5x, invest in Chainlink. You know, there's no point investing in this. You know, when it's down 95%. I'd put it as a 5x, but for me, it's just not exciting. Next on the list, we have Leox or Galilee Protocol, I think it's called. They're basically behind tokenizing of luxury goods, which is quite a niche sort of you know, concept. It's not very sort of doesn't get people, or it's not very popular. But for me, I think it's quite interesting. You know, they're one of, I think, the only sort of projects within that luxury goods space. They've also got a pretty decent team, pretty decent community, and it is also very low in market cap. I think it's sat at around I think it's like 10 million in market cap. For me, I think this could potentially 20x. I'll put it in the 20x category. I think it's a decent project. Yeah, guys, this list is pretty big. It's not easy doing these tier lists, but next on the list, we have TRVL. Now, this is going straight into a void. This is another old project, which is down 98%. For me, there's no point going further into what they're doing. And anyway, the concept is good behind this. It's based on like, sort of an Airbnb type of concept for travel where you can basically find and rent different stays. I think, it's a shame to see, projects which have good potential just basically just die, or, the token just goes down 98, 99%. And no investors are going to want to touch that. At least if you know what you're doing and researching, you're not going to want to get into projects which are down that much. Next on the list, we have Trueflation. Now, this is why tokenomics are important. This is why vesting schedule is important. When you have harsh vesting, guys, it almost kills every positive aspect of a project. And even though, this is based on like decentralized, infrastructure, helping to basically tokenize and, build and adapt independent and transparent financial data for different RWA assets. It's just, the vesting schedule is just awful to the point where this just keeps on going down. Price action is awful. And at the end of the day, this is based on what sort of returns this can give you. So for me, yeah, I've got to put this as, I don't think it's a rug, but for me, the price action is just not good. I'll put this as a 10x because again, it is a fresh project. They do also have some decent exchange listings, but the vesting schedule is just not good. Next on the list, we have another low cap project, Soil. This is basically based on stablecoin borrowing and lending. You can basically gain returns on various stablecoins, get yield on different stablecoins. Nothing too exciting. They have had an audit as well. They are audited, and they have a pretty decent team behind them as well. Fully doxed team. They're also built on Polygon, which is good because a lot of these projects are built on Ethereum, where you have expensive gas fees. The only downside is there's not many exchange listings. I believe they've only got MEXC and Gate.io, so they do need to gain more exchange listings. And on top of that, again, the vesting schedule is not the best, around 15% in circulation. I'm not too sure of sort of the token release schedule, but I think it has potential, but the sort of dilution is going to pull this back. Around 10 million in market cap. I'm going to put this as 10x because you have to take in consideration the vesting schedule. Next on the list, we have Block Square, another low cap project, which is down, hasn't shown the best in terms of price action. But what I like about this is they have a pretty active community aimed in basically bringing DeFi to real estate. And, they do have a lot of properties within their portfolio. I think they've got around 130 million in tokenized properties in around 20 different countries. So I do like what they do. I think the only thing is the price action is not very good. It just remains pretty stable, but I think this can still pump. And I think this could potentially 20x. So, I do like this project, but just need to see, some more sort of bullish price action on that. Next on the list, we have another microcap, CGV, Cogito Finance, another finance-based project, DeFi, credit risk, all that sort of stuff. Again, it's just not that exciting. And for me, I think in terms of, the price action, again, is not very good. And it's down heavily, around 90% down, which isn't obviously everything because there's good projects which are down 90%. But I just think this is a risky project and I would personally avoid it. Next on the list, we have UBXS, which is a project which is basically aiming to, bind the physical and virtual RWA world. They're helping to basically, offer a marketplace where you can trade different assets on. The main bullish news with UBXS is their partnership with the Chainlink, which is massive. You could literally forget everything else. That one partnership could really push this project up. So So for me, I do think this project has a good amount of potential, especially with that partnership. Currently sat around 5 million in market cap. Tokenomics are also decent, around 50% in circulation. I'm going to put this as, oh shit, wait, let me put Goldfinch back there where it belongs. And this is going into the, I think with that partnership, I'm going to put this in the 50x category, guys, because I think with that onboarding and in terms of that marketplace, I think, this could have a good run. I'll put it as a 50x, but that is a bullish case. Next on the list, we have Defactor. Now, another project which has just fell off a cliff. Again, another project down like 96%. Another old project, dead. Straight in there. Next on the list, we have Zend Finance. I think this is based within African markets. They do say they're backed by Google and Binance, but I just don't really see any sort of real claims to that. And the price action is again off a cliff, 99% down. Yeah, it's just, what's the point in investing in that, man? Next on the list, we have WeCoin, another micro cap. I do like this project. I think it has a good amount of potential. It's still under the radar, so not many people know about this. What I like about this is how they are basically helping to own different pieces of land. So you can basically, convert your own RWA assets into digital tokens. And, this is really good for onboarding people who want to gain exposure and want to get into RWA assets and tokenize a variety of different, sort of assets. And you can also produce your own NFTs as well. And, they also have partnership with Chainlink. For me, I think this has massive potential. It is risky, guys. This is very risky. When you invest in these sort of micro caps, you do have to, do all sort of checks that you can and invest what you can afford to lose because, crypto in itself is very risky. Even something like Chainlink for someone who invests in gold or into, stocks, sort of like high performance stocks, crypto is going to be risky. The only one on this list which you could argue is very low risk is probably Chainlink and something like where's Ondo gone? I'll put that, yeah, as a 10x, and something like Mantra. Obviously Ondo with their sort of BlackRock partnership is going to help them and also give more sort of confidence for investors, especially big investors who have got billions of dollars to invest. For me, this is something to pay attention to, but I still think with their sort of use case and token utility, I think this could 50x. I'm not going to put it as 100x. I think 50x is better. And I've saved the best project till last. Labs Group. This is 1000x. Joking. This is a dead project. This is probably the worst project on this list. It's dead. It's finished. It had massive hopes. It was a project which was looking at that, Southeast Asia markets, showing Bali, showing Thailand, showing all these properties, gaining that Arsenal partnership where, you'd watch Arsenal games and they'd have the Labs Group logo or StainX put onto, the sideboards at the games. And it was just a rug. So yeah, it was just a complete dead project. And if they launch, when they launch the StainX token, if they do, you should avoid that as well because they've proven that they do not care and they don't know how to really look after their investors. So yeah, guys, that is a sort of a, it's gone longer than I wanted to, but this is my opinion for RWA. Of course, if you invest in any of these projects, don't get annoyed at me, guys. As I've said, it's my own opinion. You can invest in any of these projects, and when the full bull run actually comes, most of these projects will even pump. Some people will probably even buy Labs Group, and this will probably jump up because it's sat around 200k in market cap. But for me, if you want a balanced portfolio, get some Ondo for that safety, maybe get some Chainlink if you've got high capital. You know, if you've got like hundreds of thousands or, you know, millions in portfolio, grab some Chainlink, grab some Mantra, grab some Ondo, and look for something like prop base for prop chain, Relio. And then if you want to take more risk, you can go for one of these, you know, micro caps. But for me, yeah, guys, um this is my opinion. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to drop a like. It helps me out a lot, guys, because it just shows that you enjoy the content. And yeah, if you disagree with me, please, you know, have a conversation below. Put your comment down below and tell me what you think or where you think that project should be. And also, if I've missed any project, which I have, because there's, you know, there's so many RWA projects, but I can't cover them all. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.